Hello there! This is the third part of a series I am doing on the Tellius series of Fire Emblem. In the previous part, I covered the modern history of the continent Tellius, including the founding of most of the continent's nations and the corruption spread by the Imperial Senate of Benyon. This directly led to the Serenus Massacre, a genocide wherein most of the Heron Laguz were brutally murdered by citizens of the Benyon Empire. Due to the massacre, the ancient Heron Laguz Leran decided to work towards waking the goddess Ashera as soon as possible, so that she may pass judgment upon the world. So now, let us go over the plans he put into motion. During the Serenus Massacre, Leran secreted the Heron Princess Lilia away, and demanded she use the Gralder of Release to awaken Yune. This since Ashera had told him that his heirs would possess the ability to sing that song in addition to him, but it was to no avail. She did not possess that power, as only the Apostles of Benyon had inherited it. Realizing the Gralder did not work, it seems that Leran instead went to work on orchestrating a conflict to engulf all of Tellius. He thus headed to the kingdom of Daen, and sought-out its Prince Ashnard. He knew that the prince had the desire to change the world. Ashnard wanted to abolish the class system, and create a world shaped by the ideology of might makes right. Because of this, Leran saw him as the perfect candidate to help him advance his plans. How exactly Leran became aware of Ashnard is unknown, but the prince was known as a fierce warrior who could take on entire platoons of enemies at the time. Perhaps it is from those tales that Leran learned of Ashnard. The prince was also notable for having a relationship with Amelda, the only daughter of the Ginsia. She had abandoned Goldoa years ago because she did not agree with the kingdom's isolationist policies and had become attracted to Ashnard's power. Ashnard had done the same and even sired a son with Amelda, but discarded him after learning that he had no special powers. Instead, he used the boy as bait to lure more dragons to Daen. The Ginsia first sent a red dragon platoon to find Amelda, and they were captured and given a special drug created by the court naturalist Izuka. That turned them into feral ones who were savage and could stay into their beast forms permanently. After this, Prince Rajaon went to Daen to rescue his younger sister and nephew, but he was turned into a feral one as well. Ashnard also turned him into his personal steed to mock and provoke the Ginsia. For a time, Leran and Ashnard tried to unseal Yune with Lilia, but it did not work. In that time, Lilia was held hostage in a room at Palmeni Shrine, and was looked after by the priestess Elena. She wrote her experiences on the wall of her room, and eventually entrusted Leran's medallion and the Gralder of Release to Elena, telling her to bring them to Altina. This because Lilia sensed that she was attuned to order, and would not be driven insane by the medallion. The chaotic energies of Yune in the medallion would namely exaggerate the darkest emotions of those who touched it, and drive them berserk. Only those highly attuned to order could safely touch the medallion. Elena thus took it and fled with her husband, Gawain, who was one of Daen's esteemed four riders, to Gallia. Gawain changed his name to Grail, likely to avoid being recognized, and worked as a mercenary for the king of Gallia. Elena and Grail also lived in hiding to prevent Ashnard from releasing the Dark God they thought resided inside, and eventually begot 2 children. Back in Daen, Ashnard became king due to manipulating his father, the king, into signing a blood pact with an unspecified traveling wise man. Those pacts bound the ones who signed them to absolute obedience, or else their whole country would be destroyed in due time. If such a pact was broken, one person would die on the first day, 2 on the second day, and so forth. It should also be noted that the Benyon Senate had at one point used a blood pact to gain control of the Raven Laguz nation Kilvas, and had wiped out half its population after its king had disobeyed the Senate. Back on topic, Ashnard had the wise man invoke the pact's curse, wiping out the royal family of Daen, and making him next in line to become the king. Although it is never explicitly specified who the wise man was, it is known that Leran worked with Ashnard shortly after the massacre, and brought Lilia to Daen around the same time. It seems likely then that the wise man and Leran were one and the same, and that the wise man goes unnamed because of Leran obscuring his true identity. It also seems that Leran met the branded soldier Zelgius, sometime before Gawain left. The soldier wanted to know if Loran could remove his brand, but he did not know how. Loran also learned that Zelgius would eventually have to leave Daeon's service, because the branded aged more slowly than other Bjork. Due to this, Loran asked Zelgius to aid him in his plans, so that they wouldn't be alone any longer. He also saw something familiar in Zelgius, who had been isolated due to his branded status, while he himself was isolated due to having lost his birthright, being neither Laguz nor Bjork. It also seems that this is the time at which Loran began to use the name Sephiron, since Zelgius asked him for his name, and afterwards always addressed him as Sephiron, not Loran. Several years later, several soldiers of Daeon found Grail's location and tried to retake the medallion. However, Grail touched the medallion and went berserk. He struck his pursuers down, and then turned on his caretakers, neighbors, and his own wife, who removed the medallion from his hand in her final moments. Sephiron and Zelgius came upon the scene shortly afterwards, with Sephiron cleaning it up. He used his magic to let Elena rest, and also erased the memories of her son Ike, who had witnessed the whole ordeal. Zelgius and Sephiron also decided to leave the medallion with Grail's daughter Mist, who could carry it safely like her mother. They decided on this because Ashnard had not handled the medallion with care, and would surely mishandle it again. Following this incident, Grail would cripple his sword hand and began to wield axes instead. He also moved to Crimea with his children and founded the mercenary company known as the Grail Mercenaries, made up of ex-Crimean knights and independent soldiers. In this time, Grail also hired the assassin Volke to kill him if he were ever to go berserk again, or to pass on his knowledge to Ike if he was ever slain by his pursuers. After this, things become somewhat fuzzy surrounding Sephiron. The next time we hear of him, he has worked his way up the political ladder of Benyon and become a member of the Senate as the Duke of Persis. Zelgius, meanwhile, had become an esteemed general of Benyon, the Earl of Kador, and the leader of Sephiron's personal army. How Sephiron managed to do these things and why he did them is unclear. Perhaps he used his memory magic on key figures and wanted to get close to Sanaki, the granddaughter of the apostle Misaha, to see if she could sing the Gralder of Release. Or perhaps he wanted to install himself and Zelgius into positions of power, so that they could more easily engineer a conflict to awaken Yune. Nonetheless, in the year 640, Sephiron was promoted to Prime Minister by the Senate, because he was the only one who could reel in the young Empress Sanaki. The two of them proved to be immensely popular leaders among the Benyon populace, which allowed the Senate to pass overtly unreasonable legislation. However, in time, as Sanaki grew older, she and Sephiron began to interfere with the Senate's governance more directly, earning them the Senate's ire. Meanwhile, Sephiron also worked to engineer conflict in Tellius, by once again resorting to Ashnard. This time, he had Zelgius take on the identity of the Black Knight, to get close to Ashnard, who was known to employ powerful men, without regard for their background or status. He also gave Zelgius the holy sword Elendite, and with its might and his own sword technique, he eventually worked his way up to become one of Daeon's Four Riders. This slowly leads us into the main conflict of the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, the Mad King's War. That will be discussed next time.